Ah, the bounty of August. Good morning. It is 7:30 on August 12th. I was just going to come out and weed a little bit this morning. I got a little bit of time, but it's a good time for a full garden tour. So I thought I'd do a full garden tour. Yay! Good morning, everyone. Good morning to myself. I have no coffee yet. I really was just going to do a couple minutes of weeding, but this hasn't been done, so here I am. One of my favorites right here, and then some milkweed. So let's take a look around and see what we can see. I have not done a whole lot of garden maintenance, so expect it to be a mess, but there's still a lot of lovelies to look at. So come join me. So this is spotted bee balm, sometimes called horse mint, I think. It is Monarda punctata, if I remember correctly. It is one of my favorites. There's one looking a little bit more fresh. And you can see, if you look, you can see this is the actual flower. It's yellow and has purple spots. And then this is a leaf with a beautiful silvery and purple color. And then we have our milkweed forest, which has toppled over. Well, a lot of it has toppled over. You can see it is host to all kinds of things. Host to monarchs and host to other things too. I think there's a tussock moth somewhere over here. Yes. Yes, we have some pretty cool tussock moths. Ooh, let's see, right here. They're so fuzzy. There's a bunch more. Oh, camera. There we go. They're cool, huh? I don't know what those are, but those are pretty neat looking. Little dangly things. Wildlife. There we go. And this guy. It's a little too early for the wasps and bees yet, but let's take a quick look back up to this corner. All right, here we are at the top of the cottage garden, pollinator garden. All right, you can see my A-frame here. Some daisies. I cut these back earlier. My clematis is looking very dry for some reason. The peony has powdery mildew. Geraniums are looking great. What are those? I just love these so much. This is a black nightshade. If I find any hornworms, I'll come put them here. It's in the same tomato family. Amsonia, maybe. That's a ragweed. I did take a nice harvest off of this. This is thyme, lemon thyme. There you can see native lupin. And right in my face, like literally. Look at this thing. This is the yellow coneflower, cutleaf coneflower. See all the cuts on the leaves. And the bone set that is deciding it wants to be as tall as the cutleaf coneflower, which is really impressive. It's taller than I am. I didn't realize it was going to get that big. Let me just back up a second so you can get the scale of this bendy thing here. All right. I gotta pull that up a little bit more, I think. Also down here, this is the Roman chamomile that I planted, looking nice. And there's that lupin again, native lupin, and golden Alexander. And back there, I have some white snake root. And that's the fuzzy leaf of the boneset. If I step back here, I think what we'll do is we'll go down to the very end and come back up around this morning. You can see over here in the distance, in the sunlight, the saucer magnolia has blooms on it. Oh, lots of weeds, haven't mowed. It looks so pretty though when you haven't mown. Pretty geraniums. These are the flowers. Of the lemon thyme. I'm gonna give you a little broad perspective here. I'm gonna zoom back in. The heuchera flowers have mostly gone over. The leaves look still very nice and foliagey. Sedum. Have a gate, milkweed gate. Pardon me while I step over it. And underneath the milkweed, there's another lupin. It's doing well. This is how you know you have an ecosystem. This is yarrow. Oh, it's so fuzzy. Killia milfolium. This bluegrass is coming back again. This is little blue stem, I think. That's the candy tuft that I cut back. A whole bunch more tufts there. Sage. This is the sage I grew from seed. And this is the common thyme I grew from seed. Sage right in here with the milkweed. Looking nice. Milkweed, aphids, ecosystem, right? This is the blue-eyed grass leaves. Flowers are already well done. All right. Pretty sure this is Hyacanthemum virginianum. I thought it was a different one when I planted it up here, but that's okay. It's very floppy. I think I'm going to give it a trim. I'll give some of these stems a trim. And it's so pretty though. Look at all those flowers. Sage. Butterfly bush up there, looking nice. Roses. Still putting out some color, even though I haven't tended to them like at all. A lot of things back in there. One of those I think is a Joe Pye weed. We'll see when we get up there. And then there's definitely some, this right up here, that is steeple bush. And down there, Penstemon digitalis. Wood sorrel, going to seed. More penstemon. Some rose campion I need to pull. More spotted bee balm. And this unruly guy, this is Rosa virginiana, which I think I'm going to put in a different place. Looks like it's starting to get a little bit of powdery mildew here on the end. Good to know. But look at its rose hips. Look at those rose hips. And it is just covered in rose hips. Look at all of these. So the question is, will I get to the rose hips before the wildlife? We'll see. That is a done mullein stalk over there. Tussock moth on the rose milkweed back there, and its little cute seed heads. We'll see that up at the when we're on the upper side. Slug. This is the blue columbine. I love how the dew hangs on this. So pretty. Virginia creeper. Climbing my wall. Yes, I am encouraging it to do this. More boneset. Steeple bush. Making seeds. Still has some flowers. The seed heads are so pretty. Look. Let's see. Some yarrow down there. Alright, this is a lobelia that has been chewed on. This might be a lobelia alba that I put in last year. Also put some blue lobelia in here, so who knows. And that was the red lobelia. It is starting to push out some new leaves, which is good, but that was a rabbit. Came through and had some snacks. Hosta. Flowers finishing up. Look at these stems. They're like cool and wicked looking. Really pretty neat. Ah, nature. Joe Pye weed. I could not settle on what this was. Like all spring. And clearly, once it gets up here to flower, it's kind of obvious what it is. That is definitely a Joe Pye weed. Really nice complement in color to the hosta flower. Pokeweed. Just starting to turn purple in some places. Up underneath it somewhere is the red columbine. So there's the red columbine among the Virginia creeper. Moving on down. Pretty sure this is an eastern hemlock sapling. And a grape. I'm gonna harvest some of these grapevines. Would you just look at this grape? This is one grape plant. And that, I believe, is a red oak. Maybe a black oak. You just look at the impressive mess that area is. I think there's a black cherry in there and a mulberry. All right, some things I want to keep, some things I don't. The leaves of the Solomon seal. Black raspberry bramble. Scented geranium. Tiny little bit of Japanese forest grass. Ferns. I love the ferns. The strawberries holding the hillside. Dogwoods. Yellow root. Another dogwood. Another grape. Look how much of a mess it is. Yes. Let's go up the stairs and then come back down again. More toxic moths on the milkweed. That's the wood poppy. Weeds. There's some more wood poppy in there somewhere. There. Yeah. Got some cleanup to do. There we go. Oh, this is really nice here together. Okay. This is the witch hazel. And that's the white snake root. And I think they make a really nice picture together. And then you've got the dogwood. I really like how those leaves complement each other. So this is the dogwood, and this is the witch hazel. More Solomon seal. I did manage to cut back all the flowers and stems from the bellflower, creeping bellflower. So yay for that. Mushrooms. And that's the yellow root there. Dogwoods. Pretty little sensitive fern. One lone volunteer hosta is another witch hazel. Ferns, dogwood, mess. It really does look like a sweet little forest though. Look at that. I pulled a lot of this sheep sorrel. It needs repeated pulling, as you can imagine. We'll take a look at some of those things down there. Still a lot of space in here to plant things. Things that I want, not most of this mess. All right, back down. So from here, this is Solomon seal again, and then lots of milkweeds. Okay, what do we have underneath? Some echinacea back there. That's what that leaf is. A little bit more here. Lots of bellflower. Lots of milkweeds. I learned this year that you can eat these milkweed pods when they're smaller. That's pretty cool. Pretty tasty, actually. For foraged food, it was really tasty. It tasted like a really yummy vegetable. Carolina cranesbill. That's an annual. Spotted bee balm. Lots and lots of grapevine. And an invasive tree. This is smooth buckthorn, I think. Got a little bit of a rose. It's more Virginia rose. Being climbed on by the grape. Violet. Snake root. Dogwood. Eastern hemlock. Another eastern hemlock. Ooh, mushrooms. Very nice. Let's see. Very cool. Look at the texture. All right. Let me zoom you out. This is the underside of the saucer magnolia. And I do have plans to put stuff underneath it. Don't know what yet. Let's just take a minute under here. Pretty, right? Lots of volunteer hostas right along here. Yes, all right, let's see. So this is some sort of cherry. It's either a choke cherry or a black cherry. I think it may be a black cherry. There's little hairs along the underside of the leaf, and they're sort of a rusty color. That thing with the more heart-shaped leaves, that is probably a mulberry. Black cherry and mulberry. And I planted some little seedlings down there. They're continuing to grow. I think that was the verbena. And here we are back at the Joe Pye. We have a sweet little bee sleeping. The steeple bush again. Lots of blue columbine, hydrangea, boneset. This is the rose milkweed, rose swamp milkweed sometimes it's called, with tussocks, and aphids, and seed heads. Look at those little seed heads, little pods. So cute. Peonies. The peonies are looking very end of season. Look at all the rose hips. I'll try to cut back the spent flower heads. This is a non-seeding variety, which means it seeds still some. It just doesn't seed nearly as much. So I do try to cut it back to keep it from spreading into forested areas. This is a sow thistle, I think. Autumn joy. Violets. Nice big violet leaves. Yarrow. Black nightshade. Monarda, purple bee balm. Let's see. I've seen some monarchs over here. Look at this leaf. I really enjoyed this leaf. Let's see. All of that frass, or caterpillar poop, is from the tussock moth. It's a good way to find caterpillars. Look for the frass. All right, we are back to the top. Oh, how dare I? All right. Saucer magnolia. Mid-August. Still flowering. So that's the pollinator garden. Well, cottage garden. Wall garden? Gotta figure out what to call it. Probably cottage garden. All right. Good morning, it's a new day. Let's take a look at some of the other things in the garden in August. This is the fig tree. And here's our avocados. I've actually got 2 in this pot. And a field of chocolate mint that I desperately need to get in control. I've already done 2 harvests off of this chocolate mint. Some of my Canada mint getting established. And the chaos, which is this spot right here. All of the coneflower flopped. Isn't that fun? Look at that. That's from all the rain. And I already did a harvest of the peppermint. As you can see, we have mostly empty stems. This is the garden sorrel I started from seed this year. Gone to seed itself. I have harvested a bunch of these leaves and saved them for their lemony-ness, lemony goodness. Feverfew. Daisies. These are some of the winter sow that I still have to get out into the ground. Now that it's cooling off, it's actually probably a pretty good time. Stuff looks pretty good though. I'm pretty happy to see it. Some weeds mixed in with things. Yarrow I planted this spring, and the Amsonia. Pardon my cleanup over here. These are northern blue iris, some more feverfew, golden Alexander, my sunflower field. These are the giant gray stripe. And the others have mostly gone over. This is a sunspot. Already harvested off of these skyscrapers. I'm waiting on this one. It's probably ready today. Still a little green. The challenge is to get it before the birds do. I have enjoyed having this sunflower field here in the backyard. All right, I'll do that again next year. Let's go over here. I have started some zucchini and summer squash and started some bush beans, which are germinating. Geraniums need to come through in deadhead, but I'm gonna get some seeds. Check that out. More Canada mint and feverfew. This is lemon balm and Roman chamomile. Putting up a flower spike. And my Seville orange, bitter orange. Bunch more winter sow stuff. This is a beauty berry. It's like a vine. Feverfew, oregano. I've already planted out a bunch of these. These are Cape gooseberry. I'm getting eaten by something over here. The ones in the garden are really growing strong. Some more sorrel. More oregano. One little thyme. A couple of lemon balms. Another mint. Oh, those don't look super happy, do they? More winter sown stuff. Some strawberries. Things I haven't gotten in the ground. And a whole table full of native plants that need to go in the ground. And another whole table. With some of them are just full of weeds. Like this is just weeds. That one's weeds and onions. All right, so I got some work to do, clearly. I got a little space to do work in. These are potted up. Some valerian, stevia, ashwagandha. I'm gonna let those grow on again into next year. Wormwood, elecampane, partridge pea, that's an annual. Some peppers that I winter sowed. I'll probably let those grow on into next year. Lavender, I started from seed. More oregano. White sage. Fun stuff. Rosemary. So that's the chaos that is the backyard. Let's have a look at the blueberry on our way down to the veg garden. I did get some berries off of this, maybe a handful before the birds got the rest. So this is one of our established blueberries. I need to do some pruning. This is one that we were given by a friend. And this little one over here, I think that this is just a low bush blueberry. It doesn't get very tall. I need to look into that or ask my friend again what it was that he gave us. And these are the safflowers that I started from seed, and they are ready to be picked. I'll definitely grow these again. I enjoyed them a lot. Okay. Now let's head down to the veg garden. Here is a look at the garden in August. Clearly the grass and the weeds have been trying to take over. I still have not moved the raspberries. They actually have flowers on them again. So we're gonna have some more raspberries in a minute. The cucumbers this year are loving life. Here we go. I try to keep these picked really well, so hopefully there aren't very many big ones in it. Oh, there is one. There's a big one over there. I gotta get that one today. This one can wait till tomorrow. Harvested some peas this morning. That one's got another couple of days. Just one plant hanging on. Chamomile. Doing its job as a trap crop, actually getting eaten by things that don't want to eat the vegetables. Look at all of these tomatoes. I was gonna trellis these up, but I didn't. I have a trellis sitting right here and just haven't moved it yet. Pulled most of the onions. My onion harvest was small. I gotta figure out, look at that. I gotta figure out how to do this a little better. These up here, these are the perennial onions or spring onions. Cosmos, loving it. I'm enjoying the cosmos, but I've cleaned this bed, mostly cleaned this bed, preparing it for something else. Beans maybe. Down here too. Cosmos. I am still waiting on some Love in a Mist seed heads. When they get to be like this, that's when they're ready. Here, that's ready to pick. That is not quite ready. Some dill. Here's another onion. Not very big. Some arugula seeds to harvest. Some bell peppers in and amongst the weeds over here. I gotta weed this corner. You can see I've done a good bit that way. Pulled the beets, except for the yellow ones. I should probably go ahead and pull them, the yellow beets. I have been trying to pick as many of these marigolds as I can. Calendula. This is one of my maybe favorite new things I grew this year. I've just really enjoyed. It's pretty, it grows nicely. I've been harvesting the flower heads. Really excited about that. These are the Cape gooseberries that I planted in the ground. Look, looks like we got a flower. Doing great. This is just one. That's one plant. I've never grown these before, so I wanted to try and do it. Some in pots and some in the ground just to see. This is volunteer amaranth. Lots of weeds. And here's the other ones. This I think is maybe 6 plants all together. Let me zoom you out. There you go. That's so pretty. So we're gonna get some Cape gooseberries. These are cayenne peppers. I have not yet harvested any peppers, but look, there's one. I've got 4 plants here. They really like it here. They're very tall. This is kind of what I expect from a pepper. All of my other peppers are like knee-high or less, and those are definitely hip-high. These leeks are growing great. Really great. Volunteer cosmos in the middle. Other leeks on this side. Look. I'm excited about this. My corn is growing well. Got a nice Three Sisters thing going on here with the corn and the beans climbing the corn. There are already beans on it. And squash, this is actually a cucumber here. I've got some other squashes up the way. Making good heads, ears, whatever. They're not quite ready. I'm gonna have to start scouring these for their beans. Let's check over here. All of these corn too. Beans. The zucchini and summer squash I have in the backyard, they're just little seedlings. I have those for out here. I'm gonna plant them in between. See if we can get a late harvest of those. Coming along nicely. This one is another sweet corn. Most of the tasseling is done. Do have a couple of new ears though, so I gotta try to scour some pollen. Might be some more pollen on there. And down here, these are popping corn. Oh, these are the bear paw. Nowhere near ready. Look at that. That's gonna be hard to harvest. These you actually leave on, if I'm not mistaken, you leave these on until they are nice and dry. So I won't have to harvest them anytime soon. And down here, amongst all the weeds, these are the sour gherkin. Look at the little, tiny, there we go. Look at how tiny. This thing is just covered in those. My makeshift trellis here. I have lots of weeding to do. Mexican sour gherkin. You can see I have some powdery mildew. I've been spraying it with hydrogen peroxide solution, which helps, but also we are getting just a ton of rain, so only so much it's going to hold it off. But there are tons of cucumbers. There's a few I need to pick this morning. And lots more to come. Got some more peppers up here. These are more bell peppers, I think. No, that does not look like a bell pepper. I love pepper flowers. And basil. That is a bell pepper. This little triangle right here has bell peppers and Thai basil. I need to come harvest some more of this Thai basil. So this is 2 different varieties of bell peppers and some mini bell peppers down here. Let's see if there's any mini bell peppers growing. And flowers. Oh, there used to be a plant in there. Oh look, something ate that one back. Little tiny one. There we go. Little tiny one coming on. The tomatoes have done really well this year. Over here, I've got some more peppers. These are more bell peppers and Ukrainian purple tomatoes. They've been very delicious. I've been harvesting some of these. We're getting into a really good tomato season here. You can tell we've had a lot of rain. They do crack a little bit. Nasturtiums haven't grown very much, which I'm surprised. We've had a lot of water. Don't know why. Haven't had good luck with nasturtiums. Parsley though is great. The basil. Look at the basil. I gotta come cut that one. Got all these tomatoes though. These are all Ukrainian purple. On this side, I have some of these cherry tomatoes sort of interspersed. These are Mexico midgets. These are all Amish paste. These sunflowers are done. I already got the seed pods. Lots of great parsley. I need to come through here and do a parsley harvest. These are pimento peppers. More Amish paste. More cherry. Okay. Just take you on a stroll down over here. This chaos. Raspberry chaos. Okay, over here. These are Moon Glow. I have only just picked the first one today, so I don't know how they taste yet. And these are German Pink. Have kind of a potato leaf rather than your usual sunflower. Down here I have, these are Sweet Italian. Already picked some Sweet Italians from here. And these are Cherokee Purple. They are delicious. Very delicious. They are a red, deep red. These are the Titan sunflowers. Probably the biggest ones I'll have this year. On this side, looks like we have some tomatoes down. These are the gold medal, I think. So they'll be a yellow. And we have Eigelhart. These little yellow cherry tomatoes are delicious. More basil. More peppers. These are nadapinos, a little tiny one. I harvested some the other day. All right, I think that's everything in the garden. This tiny thing, this is my blue Hubbard that's down here. It hasn't grown very much. The ones up front are really big. I'll show you those in a little bit. This is my blue Hubbard that I have up front, and I want you to see a sweet little bee in there sleeping. Taking a nice little rest. Well, that one's getting pollinated for sure. So here up front,